Hello and welcome to What the Heck Does That Card Do? This is a magic show where Josh and I talk about commanders. We'll pick a commander and we will then talk about good cards to go into that commander deck in the game of Magic the Gathering Commander. That is what we are doing. There's over 30,000 cards in Magic, and there are some weirdos in there. And hopefully today we will find some of those weirdos and tell you all about them. That is the name of the game. My name is Chris. I use they them pronouns, and I'm here with Josh. Hello, Josh.
Hello, my name is Josh. I am the other host of this show. Which commander are we talking about today, Chris?
We are talking about Shilgengar, who sounds like a Pokemon. A joke that I will make every time. I don't know why they decided to call this character from the lore Shilgengar, like the Pokemon Gengar, but they did.
Funny story about that.
It's gone.
Now, a friend of mine plays a Shilgengar deck. Other than Chris, I have another friend who also plays a Shilgengar deck. Their favourite Pokemon is Gengar. Pokemon TCG, the cards are the same size as Magic the Gathering cards. So their Shilgengar deck is in a Gengar deck box with Gengar card sleeves.
Oh, I'm so jealous. That is such a good idea. Yeah. I might have to nick that. I may have to just nick that idea. That's so cool. I'm really tempted.
It's the easiest thing to do. It's like, what deck shall I play? I feel like playing my Gengar deck. If you don't have the decks from like Game Genic that have got the window
Magic bit on them and stuff. Yeah.
You just go, which one's my Gengar deck? Oh, yeah, it's the one with the Gengar deck box.
Honestly, I mean, I have to say, we'll talk about the stuff the show's about in a minute, but I like to linger on some of the lore and the art occasionally. It is a card where I would be tempted to get a Gengar like token altar with putting a Gengar in it because it's very funny.
Yeah.
But all of the versions of this card, the art is so phenomenally badass that it's really, really hard not to just keep it. Because, look, lore heads, you will love this. Shilgengar is the demon who gave vampirism to the vampires on Innistrad. Shilgengar made the vampires on Innistrad.
What, he made Edgar Markov a vampire?
Yes, by making him drink and kill angels and drink their blood.
Wow.
That's why his effect does what it does. And that's why, in the original card art, he's a demon sitting on a throne of discarded angel wings. Literally, it's a throne that's like a wingback chair, and all of the bits of the chair are torn off angel wings. It is so phenomenally badass. Does
he have his own... This is a terrible joke, but does he have his own language where when he speaks to people he just goes, Gengar, 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 Gengar?
Come on, just imagine the thought process. This human duke steps up to this demon and goes, I wish to learn the secret of vampirism. And the demon stands up and goes, Gengar. Like, it doesn't.
Exactly.
I don't know why they did it. It's such a shame. It's almost like they're just colorblind to the idea that this is a name that exists already.
That's the thing with demons. You should never say their full names, which is why he shortened his name to Gengar.
And yes, there's also the Modern Horizons, because this came in Modern Horizons 3. And in Modern Horizons 3, they did a whole series of arts where they had just very lovely detailed versions and sort of side frame shots of characters next to bold color backgrounds. And Shilgengar is a purple background, is the version I have.
Portrait? Is that what
profiles?
Yeah, some
profile
art, yeah.
So this is the one I have and the one I use. I do love the Throne of Angels, but you can't really see Shilgengar at all. It's just this sort of weird, wings, and there's a lot going on. And unless you hold your card real close to your face, you cannot make it out. It's just this blurry mess because magic. But the purple one, it's very clean, it's very precise. It looks like a badass demon, and frankly, that's what I wanted for my deck. But yeah, just imagining a Gengar version. Gengar sleeves is sweet. I'm going to nick your friend's idea. I love that. Anyway. Again, it's Modern Horizons 3. We said this last week, I'm going to say it again. Let me read you what this card does, and it's a wall of text, and I apologize in advance. Shilgengar, Sire of Famine, 3 black, legendary creature, elder demon. He has flying. He's a 6/6. Sacrifice another creature, create a blood token. If you sacrificed an angel this way, create a number of blood tokens equal to its toughness instead. 3, Orzhov, white or black. Sacrifice 6 blood tokens, Return each creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. Those creatures are vampires in addition to their other types. So, Shilgengar is a flying 6/6. Already, that's great. He has a sacrifice another creature with no tap ability and no mana ability, so you can do it whenever at instant speed. That's very important. To make blood tokens, which are just a random thing this deck makes. And if you sacrifice angels using this effect, you get more blood tokens and faster. And then for 3 mana and sacrificing 6 blood tokens, and again, very importantly, doesn't tap, so you can do this multiple times. Return each creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. What that means is when they come back to the battlefield, they have a counter on them that says if this creature would die, if this creature would leave the battlefield for any reason, you exile it instead. So it doesn't get it dies triggers, it doesn't get anything else, it just leaves the battlefield as exiled, it's gone for good. Which means you can't loop things very easily with the commander. That's kind of why they've done it, which makes a lot of sense. I understand why they do it, but also it just adds to the wall of text problem. And then also, everything you bring back is a vampire, in addition to its other types.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's a lot. I can appreciate that that is a lot. Let's make it simpler. He's a sack outlet.
Yep.
Whatever you have on the board, you can sacrifice for free at instant speed. And when you do, you make blood tokens. If they're angels, you make a lot of blood tokens. Blood tokens can be used to discard cards and draw cards if you want to. You should never do this in this deck. They're much more valuable to you for other things. You may as well see the blood token as just a thing that you have off to one side. They are technically artifact tokens. I've not got anything in my deck that's relevant for that, but you could use that to make lots of artifact tokens and, you know, do things with that. You can if you like. You're cool.
Yeah.
I don't really do that for mine. What you want to do is build up to 6. Because when you build up to 6 and you have 3 mana lying around, which he costs 5, you can have 3 mana lying around at that point. When you do, everything in your graveyard goes back to the battlefield. It enters, so you get all your enters effects. They get counters on them, which means that you can't do this over and over again. But frankly, by the time that you are doing this, you should be sacrificing a board full of things, paying the mana, getting all of their effects to come back in again, and then hopefully finding ways to cheat the finality counter to cycle this effect and do it over and over and over again. Therefore, this deck lends itself to lots of sacrifice tricks. D&D. Magic is full of sacrifice tricks. Whenever a card leaves the battlefield, whenever a creature is sacrificed, draw a card. When a creature is sacrificed, everyone loses a life. These are classic effects. If you look at Shilgengar's EDH rec page, they're everywhere. This is a very common effect. You can build the whole deck around that. And frankly, because you get more blood tokens faster if you sack angels, what this tends to be is what's called an angel typal deck. You play a lot of angels. You play a lot of cards that work really well with angels. So my first card, to make a long story short, is going to be an angel. And it's an angel that is quite expensive, quite hard to play. But if you can get it on the board, if you can get rid of it and then bring it back again in this deck, 'tis bananas. It's called Admonition Angel. It's 3 and 3 white. It's an angel, has flying, it's a 6/6. It has landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, you may exile target non-land permanent other than this creature. When this creature leaves the battlefield, return all cards exiled with it to the battlefield under their owner's control. So we talked about this in the last episode, but we've mentioned it before. They're called Oblivion Ring effects. Basically, whenever you play a land, something goes under this angel. It's exiled. And then when this angel goes, everything comes back again. Why is this so cool in this deck? Well, it does everything you need it to do. Shilgengar comes down on turn 5. He's 3 and 2 black if you're playing 1 land every turn. If you're ramping, he comes down early. If you play 1 more land on your next turn, which you almost certainly will, you can play this angel. If you play this angel, it's the first thing you sacrifice, you get 6 blood tokens immediately. If you have any other way of having the 3 mana, this is all you need to bring everything in your graveyard back immediately. When this thing comes down, you will exile target non-land permanent other than this creature. That could be anything that you want. It could be an opponent's creature, it could be yours. It should be yours, because you will exile it with this creature. You get the 6 blood. You then spend the 6 blood to sacrifice it. When you do, all the things from your graveyard come back with finality counters. The thing that you exiled with this just comes back. And you get all the enters triggers, everything you want to get out of the go to the graveyard, come back again trick that Shilgengar does, you get for this without the counter. So it's a free way to do the thing that you want to do pretty much immediately. Also, when it comes back in, when you bring back all your angels on that turn, if you manage to find a way to get the extra 3 mana, this is all very Christmas landy, but you see my point. On the turn where you remove something of your own to then recur it back again, the next time it comes in with a finality counter, you can, when you get the landfall trigger next time, you can remove something that you actually care about being gone for a significant period of time, like an opponent's creature or something similar, because landfall triggers probably at least once every turn. Landfall's quite hard, well, not hard to trigger. And the cream on top, if you want to trigger Shilgengar again, which you probably do, like if you're lucky, you are triggering that pull everything out your graveyard thing multiple times. Sacrificing this and losing it for good may seem like a bit of a downside, when you remember that you get all the blood tokens for it immediately. So you immediately have enough blood tokens to do the whole thing again. I purposefully put a lot of angels with 6 toughness in my deck, because you can get into some crazy cycles if you're lucky with with mana, where you can activate Shilgengar's ability more than once. You will lose out on things that you sacrifice the finality counters on them, but, as we'll get to later, things that mill when they enter, things that mill when they leave, mean that if you're lucky, you are sacking something big to get all the blood tokens, activating Shilgengar, pulling everything out of your graveyard, and as you do that, as they enter, they are refilling your graveyard. So if you do it again, everything that they put into your graveyard also comes out again as well. So you can get into... I've had turns with Shilgengar where I have put about 30 creatures, most of the creatures in the deck, out. Just because everything mills everything and everything cycles everything, and suddenly you go, cool, I have this one turn on turn 7 where my entire board is now most of the cards in my deck. They all have finality counters. If you go board wide, I'm screwed, but if you don't, I think I win. Yeah. Anyway, long ramble, but angels are very good because you get all the blood counters. That's obviously very cool. You don't have to play angels. You can put anything in this deck. Angels is a really good way to get that cycle of pulling things out your graveyard going, is the main point of this first card, I'd say.
Which leads into my first card, which is an angel.
However, see, there's my point.
It is a creature. It's not an angel, and it's one of those ones where it's like your big swing, because Shilgengar's effect, mana-wise, is ridiculously cheap. It's 3 mana. Yes, you need the 6 blood tokens as well, but this is 3 mana. So if you've got another, say, 6 mana around, you might want to play this card after you've brought all of your angels back with finality, or creatures, because it's not just angels, it's creatures back with finality counters.
Absolutely.
I believe this also works with this card if you bring this card back as well. This is if you stack it right. This card is called Thief of Blood. It is 2 black and 4 for a 1/1 vampire with flying.
I know what you're thinking, and it doesn't work. It's infuriating, but it doesn't work.
Well, I'll read this effect anyway. As Thief of Blood enters the battlefield, remove all counters from all permanents. Thief of Blood enters the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it for each counter removed this way.
It's horrific, and it's so annoying because I really want it to work, but it doesn't. The creatures don't exist on the battlefield when the Thief of Blood enters. They all enter at the same time, technically.
Don't they see each other, though, when they come in?
The effect triggers, and all the creatures enter. You can decide what order they enter in, but at the point when they all enter, all effects on the board are what they are.
Oh, that's fair. But still, if it's in your hand and you play it...
It's in my deck.
Yeah.
It's still a fantastic... I've got a whole thing later about removing counters. Like, Thief of Blood is... Okay, with the Admonition Angel is a great example of this. If you remove the Thief of Blood with the Admonition Angel before you bring everything back and then pop it back down again, yes, it does exactly what you want it to do.
Yeah.
But you have to have it... You have to play it after you've played everything else. It can't be part of the cycle of getting things out of the graveyard.
Yeah.
It's just... it's counterintuitive. I agree. This is one of those Magic rules where you go, this should work, damn it. And frankly, there are Reddit posts of everyone shouting, this should work, damn it, but it doesn't.
Yeah, that's fair. But it's still a really good card to have in the deck. So that's
absolutely
my first pick.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm going to jump then to talking about removing counters, because yes, you want to remove if you can find a way to remove the finality counters, you can just do this forever. You can just cycle the cards forever. And it's so busted if you can manage to find a way to do it, because removing the finality counters, it means that if there are creatures that you recur that actually like to die, you can then make sure you remove the counters from those first to get cycling. Okay, before I ramble too much, Thrall Parasite is a single black mana. It has Extort. Whenever you cast a spell, you can pay either a black or a white. If you do, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain that much life. I've never used it. But you tap it and pay 2 life to remove a counter from target non-land permanent. If you have a creature that, for example, whenever it leaves the battlefield, it mills, whenever it enters, it mills, like a Crow of Dread Tidings, I think whenever it enters and whenever it leaves, it mills. I'm pretty sure it does.
I think when it enters, it mills. Yeah, when it enters and leaves, it mills 2 cards.
Exactly. So, yeah. So if you have a Crow of Dead Tidings and you have it on your board, and you want to fill your graveyard so you can keep doing Shilgengar's effect, milling 2 as it enters fills the graveyard. Then you sacrifice it. It mills another 2. It's in the graveyard. You use Shilgengar's effect. You recur them all. Use the Thrall Parasite to remove the counter from it. Sacrifice it. Off it goes. You will keep milling 2 cards every turn. Now, my creature density in my deck is about, 35, 40. It's a lot of creatures because I want there to be lots of creatures to have the effect be super effective. With that kind of density, if you're milling 4 cards every time with the effect, you should hopefully have about 1 or 2 creatures every time, which means that if there's always 1 coming out, you're going to keep that cycle going for a very long time. Unfortunately, Thrall Parasite taps itself. You can only do it once per turn, but you can see the kind of cool, crazy rhythms you can get into with this deck very quickly.
That's really cool. I love that. Right.
What's your next one?
My next one, I'm not actually going to talk about any angels because there's so many angels that you could put into the deck. My next one is a bit of a meme card. It's a costly card, but it's also a meme card. So Shilgengar is a Orzhov commander, isn't he? He's white and black. Yeah. So this one is an enchantment, and it's called Rampage of the Valkyries.
Yeah. That's a really good card of this deck. Yeah.
A black, white, and 3 for when Rampage of the Valkyries enters the battlefield, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying and vigilance. That's okay, I suppose, yeah. However, whenever an angel you control dies, each other player sacrifices a creature.
Yep. That's
a card.
Yep.
And the thing is, if Gengar is on the board when... I'm just going to keep calling him Gengar. If he's on the board when you play this card, that 4/4 angel token that you just bought in, you just sacrifice that straight away, and everybody's sacrificing a creature. It just feeds into him really well.
Edict effects that force other people to sacrifice things when you sacrifice things, or cards that say everyone sacrifices, including you, are obviously good in a deck like this, and they're good removal. People don't like them. People tend to find them a bit mean for obvious reasons, I think. So be wary of that. I think, however, a card that says, this cost a lot of mana for me to cast, so whenever I sack something, you sack something too, but I bring all my stuff back. That seems more fair game than just a Grave Pact, where it's just like, bang, everyone sacks a creature. From my money, that seems more fair game. It's still cruel, don't get me wrong. It's still cruel. But yeah.
What's your next card?
Well, let's talk about milling then. Let's talk about getting cards into your graveyard, because we mentioned Crow of Dread Tidings a second ago. I've got another one here called Deathcat Marionette, which is 1 and a black. It's a fungus for a 1/1 Death Touch. When this creature enters, you may mill 2 cards.
Get it right. It's a fungi.
No, creature fungus. This is not a fungi. He's wearing a skull.
It's a fun. He still looks like he's having fun.
Fair. So this is doubly great. Not only are you milling, which you want to do, and if you can cycle out of the graveyard and remove the counter, do it again, you are milling. This is obviously excellent. It also has Death Touch. Now, this is a setup deck. You're going to have a board full of stuff where you're like, this stuff is here, so I can do a lot of sacrificing, and then I can bring it all back again and get all their ETBs again. This is sacrificing stuff so they can, when they leave, stuff happens. When they come back, stuff happens. It's a little mini game you're playing with yourself. And unfortunately, other players exist and want to attack you. How infuriating. A 1/1 with Death Touch is perfect because it just sits there going, go on, attack. I dare you. I'm a 1/1 with Death Touch. I kind of want to die so I can be recurred, and also your creature will die. Boo. Like it's sneaky mean in a deck like this, which is just great. What was I going to say? Yeah, so that's milling specifically.
Yeah.
I'm also going to talk a bit about other ways to get cards into your graveyard, because milling is good. Milling often is mill 2, mill 3, something like that. It's hard to get all the cards in really quickly. And also the game has this really annoying tendency to let you draw cards. And you don't want cards in your hand. You want them in the graveyard, a card full of useless things. I play a lot of discard effects in my Shilgengar deck. I kind of want to have nothing in my hand so that everything's in the graveyard. Like if you draw a 7-cost Angel on turn 3, which you want to recur out of the graveyard, so then you can sacrifice it later for all the blood tokens to do it again, which is a lot of them that are 6, that have the 6 toughness to be able to give you all the blood tokens you can do in instant speed. It's really crap when that's in your hand, because you can't do anything with it. So I purposely have...
tokens are for.
Sorry?
But then that's what the blood tokens are for.
Well, because you can discard them out of your hand. I guess you could. Yeah, I've never thought of it that way, and frankly, the blood tokens are so valuable, I've never used it for that. And also, you can play cards like this. So there are a whole ton of discard as many cards as you want, get an effect cards. They're mostly old school cards. This one from Torment, which is so mean. I absolutely love this card. It's called Vengeful Dreams. Costs 2 white. It's an instant. As an additional cost to cast this spell, discard X cards. Exile X target attacking creatures. It's just so brutal. Like, someone's like, okay, well, you've got all these creatures on the board that you don't particularly want. I'm going to attack you with my whole board. You go, cool. I'm going to play this, discard 5 really powerful angels, and exile your 5 best creatures that, unless they're their commander, they are gone. All the counters on them, gone. All the effects they had on them, gone. You've wiped out someone's board and filled your graveyard for 2 white mana. There's a black one as well, which is so that's Vengeful Dreams, and then there's a black one called something else Dreams, Sickening Dreams. As an additional cost to play Sickening Dreams, discard X cards from your hand. Sickening Dreams deals X damage to each creature and each player.
Wow.
Thing is, if you're not going to have a huge hand. This isn't a deck of like draw a bajillion cards. We're talking 4, 3, 5. If you have a ton of cards in your hand that are just dead weight that you want in the graveyard, the ability to go, cool, I play this really cheap spell, I discard a ton of these, and now they're your problem because they're in my graveyard, is just great. And because you're discarding, and the game assumes that discarding is bad, which is, foolish, dealing X damage to each creature and each player is huge. Also, dealing X damage to each creature means you're dealing X damage to all of your creatures too, so with Shilgengar on the board, you can then sacrifice all of them to get all the sacrifice effects before you do it. At this point, can't do the Shilgengar. Don't go over 6, 5. How big is Shilgengar? 6. Don't go over 6.
Yeah.
You're never going over 6 anyway. I mean, if you're discarding 6 cards from your hand, then there's been a really weird turn 1. Yes. And also, I should mention, I know this is 3 cards in one. I apologise, Josh. It's a lot in one go.
No, it's right.
There is a card in Magic, and it is famous. It is absolutely famous for being the worst thing you could possibly do. Seriously, this is a card people go, why does this card exist? There's a whole Ristic Studies video about why does this card exist. They've asked the designer, why did you design this? They've said like they have to make bad cards. It has a whole conversation about why we make bad cards, because we need to put things in the game that aren't as good as other cards to give people a chance to learn from play. So this card is famously bad. It's called One with Nothing. It costs a single black mana. It's an instant, and it just says discard your hand. That's it. no other text on it. Sorry, that there is flavor text. When nothing remains, everything is equally possible.
Okay.
Discarding your hand in Magic is the worst thing you could do. It's just a bad decision. And yet, if I have a hand with 1 with nothing and 4 angels and, some other bits and bobs, I can cast this at instant speed before I draw my card for turn to fill my graveyard, to chuck it all in the bin and get the ball rolling with Shilgengar. I wanted to find a deck where this card worked, and that's why I built this entire deck. That's literally it. I wanted to find a deck where I could play 1 with nothing. I watched the Ristic Studies video and went, there must be a deck for this card. It must exist. A reason why you would do something so stupid, so totally counter to the whole game. I think I found it, but it's this one. Ultimate Pet card, the worst card in Magic.
Yeah.
Go on, I've rambled. What's your next one?
My next card, going back onto the sort of counters idea again, this is called, and I'm going to get this wrong, Solemnity.
You are recommending Solemnity.
That's the word.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Oh, just a casual Solemnity. Fucking hell.
I mean, do you want to repeatedly recur your angels over and over and over again, especially if they've got ETB effects and sacrifice effects and all of that sort of stuff, and you've got the mana for it?
This one was on the list of cards they wanted to make game changers.
I can see why. I mean, it's a white and 2 enchantment. Players can't get counters. Also, counters can't be put on artifacts, creatures, enchantments, or lands. So finality counters, nah.
This was on the list of cards where they were like, is this too brutal for Commander? Because so much of Commander is about counters, be it 1/1 counters, be it like finality counters is a particular way because finality counters are there to make sure you can't game the system. They started doing it. Oh, I don't know when they first started doing it, but it was a thing they started bringing because they realized that recursion decks like this, it's too easy. It's too easy to go, kill it, bring it back, kill it, bring it back. Like, we talked about Retrodrabic for ages. Retrodrabic doesn't have any kind of trigger like that, which means that it's very easy with the Golem and the Sam that go infinite to just go, cool, I recycle this forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, these finality counters were designed to make sure you couldn't do that, so I can see why they did it. And yeah. Solemnity is so harsh. It's brutal as all hell.
It would be a terrible card. We were talking about Satyr last week. It would be a terrible card to go against Satyr with because
you don't get energy counters.
Energies are counters that go on a player.
Yeah, I mean, okay. A little aside to talk about why Solemnity is absolutely ball-achingly difficult for players. Any 1/1 counter deck, dead. Any poison deck, dead. Any energy deck, dead. Any experience counter deck, dead. I mean, they're fewer and far between, but we've just had the Kilo Apogee Mind come out in Edge of Eternities. If players can't get counters and artifacts can't get counters, all of the spaceships don't work.
Yeah. Spaceships can't get charge counters.
Yep.
You can't proliferate. None of it. It just completely kills entire decks, yeah.
It just kills it. I mean, it kills so many decks. It kills so many different archetypes dead just by existing. It's just a casual Solemnity from Josh there. I guess I'll just play the Solemnity.
I was just looking at cards and it had quite a high percentage rating on EDH Rec, and I thought, I'll suggest it. Not realising the trauma it could cause until we read the card and actually went through it. But yeah.
Yeah, just casually go to your playgroup and say, hey guys, I'm playing this silly Shilgengar deck. Also, it has a card in that stops your deck from working.
I don't normally like being that player, but it was a suggestion.
Hey, Stacks is a valid way of playing the game if you don't like humans. All right. Let's talk about vampires. Vampire. Because you're turning everything you recur from the graveyard into a vampire, you don't need to have a lot of vampire cards in it that are just casual vampires, because there's not a lot of vampire synergies necessarily that work by playing vampires specifically. That being said, cards that give all vampires an ability tend to be quite good. Like I use a Crossway Troublemakers, which is 5 and a black, so it's very expensive. Attacking vampires have Death Touch and Lifelink, and whenever a vampire you control dies, you may pay 2 life if you do draw a card, and it's a 5/5.
That's good.
It's a really good one. It's a great one to recur because it's 6 mana for a 5/5 that doesn't have flying or anything like that. It's got Death Touch and Lifelink when it attacks, so it's got a very specific raison d'etre, but on its own, it's not an amazing card, especially not for 6 mana. But if you're discarding it, if you're milling it, and then you recur it, suddenly everything that you've just played, all of these presumably Vampiric Angels, there's normally quite a lot of Vampiric Angels, now all have Death Touch and Lifelink when they attack, and they're also card draw engines. So whenever they die, you can pay 2 life and draw a card, which is really, really handy in a deck that tends to run out of cards in hand quite quickly for some reason. I don't know why. And maybe just the way I play the deck. But yes. What vampires also tend to do is interact with blood tokens. Now, a lot of them like to use blood tokens, which is really inconsiderate of them. That's not why they're here. But they also, quite a lot of them are good at making them. So a Falcon Wrath Forebear is a flying 3/1 that whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you make a blood token. I'm not saying this is the best engine in the world for 2 and a black. It really isn't. But throwing it down early, because you can play it early because it's 2 and a black, and making 1 or 2 blood tokens off it just speeds your blood token acquisition up in the first stages where you need it. And also you can always sack it for a blood token as well. And because Shilgengar sacks at instant speed, you can do it when it attacks and it's going to die in response to being blocked by something, or, if it didn't get through, you can still sack it to get the final blood token off it. You can also sack 2 blood tokens to recur it from the graveyard to the battlefield, but why would you? You're going to recur it anyway when it dies. It's not important. But yes, looking for vampires that specifically make blood, do things with blood, or give all vampires abilities, definitely worth looking into.
Awesome. My next thing is a potential, and will obviously correct myself if I'm wrong here, but it's a potential infinite combo with 2 cards. One of the cards in this combo, Shilgengar or Gengar helps to facilitate this infinite combo because of the sacrifice ability. But so yeah, it's a 3-card infinite combo with Shilgengar in it. First
3-card infinites. Okay. 2-card infinites are rubbish, because especially if one of the cards is your commander, because you're gonna play it in the game. 2-card infinites where one isn't your commander, you might draw them. 3-card infinites, nah, you're never gonna draw it. Who cares?
So this is the first one is a creature, and it's called Infernal Vessel. It is a black and 2/2/1 human cleric, and it reads: when this creature dies, if it wasn't a demon, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with 2/1/1 counters on it. It's a demon in addition to its other types. That's the first part. The next card is an enchantment. The enchantment is called Valkyrie's Call. It is a 2 white and 3 enchantment. Whenever a non-token, non-angel creature you control dies, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control with a 1/1 counter on it. It has flying and is an angel in addition to its other types.
So the Infernal Vessel
comes in as a human cleric. You sacrifice it using Gengar's effect. You can then choose to bring it in as either a demon or an angel.
Yes.
And then it will come in as either with the counters on it. You then sacrifice it as you sacrifice it again as an angel. It goes. You then use its effect to bring it back as a demon because it's a new version of the card coming back in. It reverts to being a human cleric angel or a human cleric demon. So and then you
can infinitely sack it.
Infinite blood tokens, all of that sort of stuff. It's not going to win you the game unless you've got something like Blood Artist or something like that on the field. But you can get yourself a ton of, blood tokens. Well, why not? I will say, if you've got a card, because both of those deal with 1/1 counters, if you've got something like Resourceful Defense on the field, which is one card that I was going to talk about, but its effect is quite expensive. Every time you sacrifice this thing, you're moving this creature which gets 1/2 or 1/1/1 counters on it, depending on which version you bring it back as. You can put its 1/1 counters onto resourceful defense to then spread out amongst other things. I was going to mention resourceful defense about finality counters, because it says you can move a counter from one permanent to another permanent. So you just move finality counters. No, there's another ability. When it dies, you move all counters to resourceful defense, but there's another ability for a white and 4 where you can move any one counter from one permanent to another permanent. So you just move the finality counter from a creature that you don't want to lose and put it onto resourceful defense.
Yeah, you can't.
Or onto a land, because land destruction is not really a thing.
Well, no, unless you're playing in higher brackets. And also, I destroy your land. It's got a finality counter on it, so it's exiled. I mean, it's just okay. Like it's a complete. I'm not sure. Finality counters. I'm not sure if they specify creatures. I don't know. I've never looked into it in any great detail. The finality counters are weird in that if a creature would die, it doesn't die. It's exiled instead. It's a replacement effect. Because it's a replacement effect, you can't move the counter. It just dies and it's exiled. It's gone. It effectively exiles itself before you could remove the counter because it's a replacement effect.
Yeah, but if you remove the counter before it dies, so if it's on the battlefield and just move it, then it's fine. Yeah.
The resourceful defense trick of moving counters to other things and that sort of thing doesn't work for finality counters. Is the point?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what's it called? The one from Duskmorn. Successful survivor, something role model, something role model, successful role model. I'm going to find it.
I know which one you're on about. When it's tapped, you can put one of a counter on it. It's the 80s dude with the
reluctant role model.
That's the one.
Yes, it puts counters on itself. Not what I'm here for. When it or another creature you control dies, if it had counters on it, puts those counters on up to one target creature. So it does the same resourceful defense trick. That's what I was there for. But yes, that doesn't work with finality counters because it exiles it instead. So it's a replacement effect, so it's gone before the counter can go anywhere. So unfortunately, that wouldn't put it back in the graveyard, which is a shame because if it did, it would be a perfect add for the deck. But as it is, it is not. Right, I've got one more sort of class of cards to talk about, which I'm going to start there, and then a couple of little pet cards. Demonic Gifts is it's a cheat death card. We've talked about cheat death cards before in Retrodrabic and that sort of thing.
Yes.
Until end of turn, target creature gets +2/+0 and gains when this creature dies, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. Why is that in this deck? Why would I need it in this deck? Because everything's getting recurred to the graveyard and back again. Well, everything is on your commander. This is a deck that requires your commander to operate. If he gets exiled, he gets exiled. You can't do much about that sort of thing because whenever this creature gets exiled is tough. You can get them, but they're hard to come by. It's a great deck for Lightning Greaves for exactly that reason. Giving it Shroud, giving it Hexproof is a good thing. I'm not going to say like, oh, my top pick is a Lightning Greaves. Well done. Like, it's good in a deck. We want your commander to survive. Yeah. But you're in black. So cheat death effects are obviously great. And there are many of them. Demonic Gifts is just one of them. You return it when it dies. Also, because Shilgengar's ability is an activated ability that doesn't require tapping, you can do it if he just arrived. So you can do it as often as you want. In fact, it's probably worth mentioning now, since we're talking about doing it as often as you want, it's an instant speed effect you can do in reaction to anything. So if someone does try to remove your Shilgengar, there is nothing stopping you going, cool, in response I sacrifice these 5 things, bring that angel, and then I use second effect to attack everything and bring it all back again. Now my commander is gone. Because you can still do all the effects in response to someone casting an instant speed spell. That doesn't stop.
Does Shilgengar always create a blood token? Even if it's a...
When it sacks something, yeah.
Yeah, but it creates a blood token equal to the toughness if it's an angel. Oh, it says sacrifice another creature. I was just thinking, could you sacrifice Shilgengar to its own effect, but you can't.
No, it's another creature. But yes, yes. There's the tricky thing is, if you say, "Cool, I'm using Shilgengar's effect to do this," and someone says, "Cool, in response, I'm going to play Swords of Plowshares on Shilgengar." You can't say, cool, in response I do my effects again. Actually, you can. There's nothing stopping you doing that.
Yeah, because the sacrifice effect is a cost.
So it's instant speed, so you can just do it whenever. Yeah, you can just start. You can say call in response. I'll do it again. Like you can stack up the effects. I've never had it happen. Like someone saying, "When I remove your command, trigger call in response." I do everything. What I have done before with it is because it's all at instant speed. You can do it on the person's end step before you. You can sit there with 3 mana up. You can have a turn. The whole table has a turn, and then on the last person's end step, you say, "Cool." In response to your end step, I will sack my entire board and use the 3 mana to bring it all back, and now it's my turn, and they don't have summoning sickness. So that's a particularly powerful way to use this effect, and all those ETB triggers, all of those things happen in the end step of the person before you. So that is also a very cool way to play the deck.
The other thing as well is because sacrifice another creature is a cost to activate the create a blood token effect, it's not interactable. So effects that say this creature counter this creature's ability from happening, it's a cost. It's a cost to activate the ability. So you can sacrifice as many creatures as you want before anybody.
You won't get the blood tokens though.
No, you won't get the blood tokens.
You can stifle.
You can sacrifice all the creatures, and then basically they can't interact with you sacrificing the stuff. They can interact with the rest of the effect, to create the blood tokens and stuff, but you can just sacrifice as many things as you want before anybody can do anything.
That's a good point, actually. I'm going to destroy your commander. I start sacrificing things. I'm going to stifle the ability. I can still destroy my board. You can't stop me.
Yeah, exactly.
I won't get any blood tokens, but you can't stop me. Yeah, it's true. Yes, because sacrificing the creature is a cost, and if you interact with someone's activated ability, you can stop the ability, but you can't stop the cost being paid. That's correct.
The cost has to be paid to activate it.
This is such a rules complicated card. I didn't think of it that way, but yes, it really is. Being able to sack things at instant speed is also really useful for combat. So, for example, if I'm attacking Josh with my 6/6 Angel, and Josh decides he's going to block it and it will die, I can sack it in response to that. Can still get the sack trigger, still get all the blood tokens. It doesn't matter. Yes, so this one is very cool, playing at instant speed. Right. I have a pet card, and I have one card that's really good to sacrifice and recur a lot. So I'm going to start with a pet card, which is called Desecrated Tomb. 3 colors.
I love Desecrated Tomb. Yeah, I'm trying to get a hold of a copy of that for my Sabin deck.
Yes, very good in your Sabin deck. Yes. It's an artifact for 3 colorless mana, so it's very easy to cast. Whenever 1 or more creature cards leave your graveyard, create a 1/1 black bat creature token with flying. Because having 17 angels is great, but also 17 1/1 bats that you can sack for blood tokens if you need to, because who cares? They don't have finality counters, and they're 1/1 bats. Who gives a shit? It's a really great way to keep the engine going, which is very, very cool. And there's some really cool versions. There's I've got a goldeny one, which is foil, which is just beautiful. But yes, final card. Have you got one more left, Josh? Do you want to do your final card?
I've got 3, but mine will fit within the same bracket, so carry on.
Right, I'll do my last one, then you do your last 3. Grey Merchant of Asphodel. A classically good card. You'll see it everywhere. It is bananas in this deck. Whenever it's Grey Merchant of Asphodel, 3 black, it's a zombie. When it enters, each opponent loses X life, where X is your devotion to black.
Yeah.
If you make it enter last, if you recur your entire graveyard, and Grey Merchant is the last one to come in, your devotion to black is all the other cards. It sees all the other cards, it can react to all the other cards, and therefore all the black mana pips in all the different cards' costs will trigger.
Yep.
Which is ridiculous. Frankly, if there is one card that you might want to take the counter off and then sack it and then recur it again, it's this one, because if all the other creatures are still there, it still enters and sees all those creatures again. Actually, hang on a minute. Thief of Blood, we very specifically said when it enters it doesn't see other things.
Yes, yeah, I did wonder about
Grey
that.
Merchant does. Grey Merchant sees other things.
Yeah.
I'm sure it doesn't work. I'm going to have a quick look. Because I know that I've read a thing.
When we have a quick look, I'll just go over my 3 cards.
Great, cool.
So,
I am listening.
That's fine. One of the things that this deck does, as we know, is it sacrifices creatures. It creates blood tokens. Blood tokens can recur things out of the graveyard. It has great angel synergy because of that effect. But, and I've seen this in a few games that I've played against Gengar. What if you get like a massive excess of blood tokens? What do you do with them? I mean, they're a resource.
Recur everything again.
You could recur everything again, but what happens if you're not filling up your graveyards quick enough? What happens if you haven't got the cards that remove the finality counters so you can put those things back in the graveyard? What if you haven't got stuff in your graveyard, but you've got stuff in your hand? Well, the blood tokens are, I believe, pay 1 or pay 2, tap, discard a card, tap, sacrifice, discard a card, draw a card. Which leads to the ability Madness, which reads, if you discard this card, discard it into exile. When you do, cast it for its Madness cost or put it into your graveyard. So if you discard a card with Madness, you can cast it. So I've got a couple of those cards because I thought they might work quite well with this deck.
I had never... It's a classic vampire ability, Madness. It's from... It's one of the returns to Innistrad. It's not the first one because it's the Falcon Wrath thing is Madness. And they're in red and black. So there are black Madness cards. I hadn't even thought of it. Very cool.
There are 31 black Madness cards to be exact. I've picked 2 of them, and then I've picked one of the 2 white Madness cards that there are.
There are white Madness cards.
There's 2. One's a creature, one's a sorcery, I think, but I'll get to that in a minute.
Fascinating. All right.
The first one that I've picked is from Under the Floorboards, which is a 2 black and 3 sorcery. It has Madness, 2 black and X. Create 3, its effect is create 3 tapped 2/2 black zombie creature tokens and you gain 3 life. If this spell's Madness cost was paid, instead create X of those tokens and you gain X life.
Nice.
The tokens are tapped, which you'd think, first of all, you think, well, the tokens can be blockers, but they enter tapped. But then you just sacrifice those creatures, the zombies, to Gengar's effect to get more blood tokens.
Oh, yeah.
And give yourself some life as well.
Do I see some cannon fodder in front of me? Hell yes.
Yeah. So it's like, do that, gain some life. You could pay it for its 5 mana cost and then just get 3 and 3 life. Or if you do it for its Madness cost, you can get it out for cheaper if you want to. It just gives you ways to get more sacrifice effects going.
Yep.
The next one is... When I see a card that has Madness 0, it baffles my mind, but this is one that has that. This is Call to the Netherworld. It costs a single black. It's a sorcery. It has Madness 0, so you can cast it for free if you discard it. Return target black creature card from your graveyard to your hand.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
You might not want to do that, but if you've got enough mana on board to say, oh, I'm going to discard this card to draw another card... I've used the Madness effect on this to draw this card again. I can then sacrifice 2 more blood tokens to discard the card I just got back for whatever reason. It's a good way for you to sort of keep hand presence, but you're bouncing bring your card back to put it back again.
I've never had that much blood to consider not using it for Shilgengar's effect, but the thought of I'm gonna spend mana to discard this Madness card to put this creature into my hand that I still want to have in there, but then I can put it back in when I discard another card is just, the mind boggles.
You basically get you get to draw 2 cards for free, basically. So
2 mana each time. So.
Oh, 2 mana for the blood token effect, but you're not spending any other mana to do it, so that's pretty good. This next one, this last one is the white one. It's an instant. It might not be necessarily that great, but one thing that Chris and I have both said is enchantment removal is something that is few and far between in decks. This is called Frantic Purification.
Fucked up name is that? Frantic Purification. Just a cleric going shit.
Exactly. The artwork is amazing. It's like a wizard with the staff in the air, and the staff's got lightning coming off of it. It's like really old artwork. It's called Torment. It's from the Torment set.
Madness was in Torment first. Cool.
It's from the. It costs white and 2, and all it is destroy target enchantment.
What's the Madness cost?
1 white.
Wow. Yeah. enchantment removal is so like you don't pack it. You like very few cards say remove target enchantment or artifact and then also say something useful. So you've got to be like have it in your deck and go, this is a if I draw it and my 100-card singleton deck, when the other person has a thing that I need to remove that I can't remove any other way, the chance of that happening is so small.
Any enchantment removal cards that I do run, and I think Chris has said this before as well, normally have other effects. Normally, like modular ones where you can choose the options of what you want to do, or there's a lot of cards that you, especially in green, that you can get that says destroy target artifact and/or enchantment. Sort of those sort of effects. So I run a lot of those. I don't normally run just enchantment removal.
I don't run any of them. I really like. I'm already so down on creature removal, which is the most common form of removal. That to then go, well, I'm not running creature removal, but I will run enchantment removal.
Actually,
yeah, sure.
Chris, I'd like to correct you here. The most common form of removal is player removal.
All right, fair. I will give you that. I found out the Thief of Blood thing. I've worked it out. I've worked it out. Reddit worked it out, and I've read it. So, when the thief enters, the text on Thief of Blood says, now let me get it right, as this creature enters. When Gary, Great Motion of Asphodel, enters, it says when this creature enters, and that's the important thing. So, when something says as it enters, or this permanent enters with, or this permanent enters as, or this permanent enters tapped, or like when it does something, it's a statement of fact. It is a static ability. When this happens, it happens. It's not triggered. It's not activated. Most effects, when things enter, whenever this happens, whenever that happens, are triggered because they're triggered by the creature entering. Yeah. So the Thief of Blood says as it enters, so it's a static effect. So it is making that static effect decision as it appears on the battlefield. As it appears on the battlefield, there's nothing on the battlefield because nothing's entered yet, because they all enter at the same time off Shilgengar's effect. So when effects, you can stack the triggers because they're triggered abilities. As effects, it's not a trigger, it's a static effect, so it never has that ability until everything is either on the field or off the field. It can't do both. Okay, I did wonder about that, but yeah, it's when it comes, especially when it comes to older cards, it is very much down to
infuriating.
The remedy. Honestly, one word change and it would be amazing when this creature enters, not as it enters. But I know why, because as it enters, and the reason why they do it is that means that you can't use this stacking effect. The whole point of the stacking effect is that you can't do that. And I think also adding counters when something adds counters as a triggered effect wouldn't work because of the way counters are added. I'm not a judge, but I know there's a reason why they've done this, and it is what it is. But yes, if you're looking for good enters effects, you want triggered effects, which is when, not as, which wouldn't work with any of the cards that have just entered with it. Yeah. Yeah, so it's not a great card to bring back as part of Gengar, going back to Thief of Blood. But Grey is it Grey or Gary? Sorry, it's Grey Motion of Asphodel. It's known colloquially as Gary because it's Grey Motion of Asphodel. Yeah.
I say that, I looked over to our Discord and I can see its name there, so I don't know why I got it wrong.
Thief of Blood, as I said, I think that the trick with it is to bounce it, to have it in some kind of way where it will appear on the battlefield after everything else is down.
Yeah. I mean,
so O-ring style effects work very well.
I mean, one thing that we haven't really spoke about in this deck, which would probably work, would be blink effects, wouldn't it?
No, because it leaves the battlefield, and it doesn't leave it exiles itself.
Okay, so finality counters aren't when this creature then dies, it's when it next leaves the battlefield. Okay.
Let me get the exact wording on finality counters because it is clearly relevant and it's not obvious. Here we go. Finality counters. No. If a permanent with a finality counter on it would die, it is exiled instead. It's a replacement effect. So blink would work.
Blink it. So you could add blink effects into the deck in order to get additional
God.
ETB triggers. You could get rid of the finality count. There's one, Eerie Interlude is the one that instantly comes to my mind. I believe it is a white and 3.
That's blue.
No, there is a white one. I think it's called Eerie Interlude. Let me just get it up.
I swear to God, Eerie Interlude is blue. No, it's white. You're right. Sorry.
Yeah. I think from memory, I'm going to try and get the effect without having the card up. So I believe it is a white and 3.
2 and a white.
2 and a white, sorry. And its effect is choose any number of creatures you control. Basically, you blink them and they come back.
Return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So yes, if you brought everything back, you could blink it all and they would all lose their finality counters. That is correct.
Yeah. They don't
I've never thought of putting blink in it.
They can't attack that turn anyway, because the turn that they come back anyway, because they have summoning sickness. So then just blink them to give them their effects back. Or because it's an instant, you wait to see if your opponents do play a board wipe and then play it.
Oh, all right. Imagine this: on the person before you's end step, you sack everything left on your board, because there's no reason to not have it in the graveyard. You put it all in the graveyard, make all the blood tokens. If anyone tries to do any in response, I remove your commander tricks, you just set the triggers back on top again, which you can do. It's no problem there.
Yeah.
You stack all the triggers on top, and then once all those triggers are gone, you use Shilgengar's effect to bring everything back again. It all comes back with finality counters, all the enters, everything like that. Then you play an Eerie Interlude from your hand, still in that end step. It's an instant. Everything blinks until the beginning of the next end step. So if you time it right, it'll all come back on that end step.
You'd have to do it. You would have to do it as they are
finishing their second main. Yeah.
And then you do it, and then all of the stuff comes back in. And
at which point you have everything on the board, no finality counters, all enters effects, everything. It's all on the board. And then on your turn, you attack with all of it, and then you sack it on again.
The easy thing about that entire little combo is that only costs 6 mana, all of that in total. Yes, it costs blood tokens, but you're making everything, because Eerie Interlude is 3 mana, and Shilgengar's effect is 3 mana.
Yeah.
So 6 mana in total that you're spending.
Okay, here's my beef. I'm not saying that blink isn't a good idea as a way to get rid of finality counters. It clearly is, and I hadn't noticed or thought about that at all. You're discarding everything in your hand. You're getting rid of everything. You are emptying your hand into the graveyard as often as you can. If blink cards go in as well, they're just there now. They're in the graveyard. You're looking at them going, that'd be really great right now.
And then...
Are there blink cards with flashback? Are there blink cards with flashback? That's the
Ephemerate has got rebound. I know that.
Yes, it does. All right, so I'm using Scryfall. I'm using the OTAG blink, which just means all these cards blink. Good. Now I need them to have flashback.
And make sure to search for them in the colours as well, because the worst thing is to look through cards.
No, that's why all the ones that do are white and blue. Boo! Because that would have been perfect. The ability to throw blink cards into your graveyard and people to go, what were they doing there? You go, oh, you wait. That would be a horrifically good effect, but it doesn't exist. So,
it's definitely a way to take the deck. I mean, obviously, your focus on the deck is to play that one card that allows you to discard your entire hand and other discard hand effects. So, like you say,
I'm not saying it's the only reason I have that deck, but 90%.
Yeah, but so blink wouldn't really work in your version of it, but it is a viable way to go if you decided to sort of change up a bit. Yeah.
There are tons of good flicker and blink cards that they do exactly the same thing. It's basically exile something, bounce it back again. If it just takes the counter off it, then that's a really good way to just keep that going and keep the effect cycling even further. I just worry about, is there a creature that flickers on ETB?
Flicker Wisp does it.
Yes.
Eldar Guardian does it.
Oh my god. Oh my god, we've stumbled into something. There's an angel.
Yes.
Oh, it's an activated ability. There's an activated ability. No, that's wrong. We don't want that. Yeah, there's plenty of creatures. Distinguished Conjurer, Charming. No, that doesn't do it on entry. Charming Prince. When it enters, choose one. Exile another target creature you own. Return to battlefield and your opponent beginning the next end step. You could easily have that. Have something big come in, an angel that you want to sacrifice to kill all the counters again. Then have that come in, blink it to get the counters, or do it with Gary. Do it with Grey Merchant of Asphodel. Sorry. Felidar Guardian, Flickering Spirit.
You do your big Gengar effect to get all of these creatures in, bring Grey in as the last card to do all of this damage, then blink Grey, do it again.
Yeah, it would work. It would work. Oh boy.
Chris is going to go back going, I'm going to get a message later saying, I've had a little think about this. I might need some blink cards.
Well, okay.
You don't need a load of them. I think the two white ones that I can think of at the moment that deal with like mass blink are Eerie Interlude and I think Ghost Away. Hang
on. I'm looking at all of the, again, you can do this yourself. On Scryfall, I'm looking at anything that's the ID, so the Orzhov type creature, and then a tag of Flicker or Blink. Yeah, so flying. When Flicker Wisp enters the battlefield, exile another target permanent. Return that card to the battlefield under its own control at the beginning of the next end step. So this is all about getting it back on end step. So you'd have to wait. You have to hold up the mana and wait until it can step to cycle the whole process again. But having to do it all instant speed is not a big deal. Is Blink then doing it immediately? These are all end step cards. Let me check and see if Blink isn't end step, because the O tag is just it's added by. No, they're exactly the same.
You're going to hate this, but another card that you could do, Abdul Adrian. You play Abdul. You bring all of your things back with finality counters. You play Abdul Adrian. You put everything underneath him because they all get exiled under him. You spit out a load of soldiers. You then use Gengar's effect to sacrifice Abdul Adrian, and then they all come back in.
I am not playing Abdul. Fucking Abdul can get in the bin.
Anytime I can try to get him into a deck. I've settled on the fact that it's probably not a good idea to have him as a commander because he infinites too easily. But if I can get him into a deck, I will try. I have 5 copies of him.
Hang on, back on track because we're still in podcast recording mode in case you had forgotten. Oh, yeah. Restoration Angel is 3 and a white. It's got flash, it's got flying. When this creature enters, you may exile target non-angel creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under your control. So, this is perfect. And I think it's already in my deck, weirdly, because it's just an angel I had lying around. This is ideal, because you play it to get rid of finality counters on anything that you've already got. You can just play it out. It's only 3 and a white, it's not hard to cast. It's a 4 toughness, so if you sacrifice it, you will get the 4 blood, which is probably enough to get the ball rolling if you've already got some floating around elsewhere. If it goes to your graveyard and then comes back in with Shilgengar's ability, it enters. And when it enters, you may exile target non-angel creature you control, then return that card. So you can blink something that has a finality counter on it, like, say, Gary, and then you can use Shilgengar's effect again to sacrifice Gary, and then do it all over again. You can't do it on itself because it's a non-angel creature, and all of your angels it wouldn't work on, but on any of the non-angels that have really cool like mill effects or fill the graveyard effects or just really good ETBs, you can remove the finality counter and do it again. And frankly, it says when it enters, so if you kill it, if you sacrifice it when it's got a finality counter, it's exiled, so it's gone, that doesn't work. If you can find a way, if you can use like a Thrill Parasite to remove the counter from it too, you can then do something else where you can get the yes. There's another angel, Wisp Weaver Angel, 4 and 2 white. Get fucked. It's exactly the same effect. Just it's for some reason it costs 6 mana. No.
that's the power creep for you.
I'm not sure. I think Restoration Angel was around before Wisp Weaver Angel, which I've never heard of, and there's why.
That's reverse power creep for you.
I think we're wrapping up.
Yeah, let's wrap up.
Oh, anyway,
I've given Chris homework to do.
Look, we said at the top, and it bears repeating. There are so many cards in this game. They keep making new ones. They can't stop themselves. Some even have Spider-Man on them. there are always going to be new interactions, new things you find, new ways to make your decks good. It's always, always, always good to find more things to play with. And we hope some of the ones we've given you today are going to inspire you to keep working on your decks too. This show is on Roll Together RPG, where there's other things, mostly D&D, but other stuff as well, other RPG content. You can find all at Roll Together RPG on YouTube. I think is the best place to find things. Is that right, Josh?
Yeah, YouTube's the best place. We do stream on Twitch on Mondays as well, D&D content, and we do other video game streams throughout the week. Join our Discord, follow us on social media for various different things to see what we're doing. At the time of recording this, the video games I'm playing are Final Fantasy VI and Neverwinter Nights 2 Enhanced Edition. So come check those out if you'd like to.
Old school.
Old school, yeah. I thought I'd go old school with the games. So, but yeah. Sorry, this is meant to be your sign off, not mine.
I am now thinking about link cards.
Anyway, we're going to get going. We shall see you all next time.
Bye.